So, beautiful ladies, thank you for being here. And I am over the moon. One of my favorite, and I call them my male celebrities, is my beautiful Dr. Michael Alexander. Michael helped me to do my 45-minute speech for the speakers group. And after I've done it, I could officially say I am a motivational speaker. And after that, everything just is happening. Amazing, amazing speaking events. I'm here in America, but you can see my suitcases there. I have to start seeing what can I take back and what do I have to leave here. So, Dr. Michael Alexander, one thing that I've learned from you is to bring in emotions and to talk. I always talk out of my heart, but I sometimes thought if my vocabulary was not that strong. And I was always thought, if I overreact, that's not the good thing. But you have share with me to put emphasis on words. And that is the impact that you are making to your audience. So I just want to say you have made a big impact in my life. And I truly love you very much. All over to you. Please inspire us. Thank you so much.
I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock with a cold, wet nose jammed into the small of my back and a horrible, strong breeze from a strongly wagging tail. My beloved 50-kilogram dog had decided it was time for a walk. You know what? Humans tell ourselves we are the epitome of evolution because we have these giant, bulgy brains and can think these deep, powerful thoughts. But I woke up saying, and he woke up saying, yeah. And he didn't have to tell me in English or Afrikaans or any other language I could plug into Google Translate what he wanted. He wanted to go for a walk, and I knew it, and he knew I knew it. He waited patiently while I got dressed, and they took my arm firmly in his mouth and pulled me to the leash so I would put it on him, and we could go on a lovely 8-kilometer walk around the wilds of the suburbs of Los Angeles, California, where we live, where he could chase squirrels and birds and other dogs and cats and all sorts of things that made him deliriously happy. And I looked as I walked at my neighbors who had bigger houses than I do and fancier cars than I do, but they don't have bigger smiles than I do. And I said, the dog understands. It's not the giant, bulgy brain, the brilliant thoughts. It's the happiness. Anyone ever tell you were too emotional? Stop that, honey. You're just being emotional. Yeah. And if that emotion is happiness, isn't that what you want? Isn't that really what life is about? Absolutely. So we may think better thoughts than our pets or the other dogs, but we don't pant with the same happiness. And I suppose it's okay that we don't have tails to wag, but we should be showing our happiness at every moment, at every chance. Don't worry if you're too emotional. Only worry if it's the right emotion. Because our emotions are what make our lives worth living. Not just mine, I want my wife to be happy. I care about my son's happiness. I want him to be a doctor because doctors earn good money. Of course not. I want him to be happy. Now, if he wants to be a doctor, if that would make him happy, that's great. But I don't care really so much what he wants to do. I care if he's happy. So let us, as we go through lives, think about what we really want and our emotions, and take our emotions absolutely as we should. Now, I'm not going to tell you that happiness is the only emotion. Absolutely not. And they don't always make us happy per se. That doesn't necessarily mean they're to be avoided. Just as we wouldn't want to just take drugs and be happy all the time and do nothing, because we want to accomplish things. We don't want to forget that each emotion we have has a purpose in evolution, has a purpose in our lives and the lives of the people around us. Anger. I don't smile a lot because I'm angry. But anger tells me that there's something wrong, that there's something that needs to be fixed to make the world a better place. I'm okay with being angry as long as I use it. Anger to sit in my room and just isn't going to get me anywhere. Isn't going to make the world any better. So yes, avoid anger if it's just paralyzing. But if you get angry at something because something's wrong, that's how you know what's wrong and how you fix it, instead of just sitting down and doing nothing. Are you too emotional if you're angry? Or are you properly emotional? Think about the importance of that. Fear. Fear, they tell you, in evolution, is the fight or flight syndrome. You're in danger. And it warns you you're in danger. And that's important. And it either causes you to fight the thing to protect yourself or to run from it. Choose one of them. I've got to tell you, if I'm facing down a tiger, if I'm armed, I'll fight it. If I can avoid it, that's a better choice. I'll run. Cannot run it really, but I can get in the car. So fight and flight, fear, not an emotion to be guilty about. But we have an animal here in the States. I don't know if you have a similar one in South Africa, the possum. And when it gets afraid, it gets paralyzed and falls to the ground and pretends to be dead. Doesn't usually work. So if you're afraid, that's okay. Fight or flight or flee. Don't just ball yourself into a little ball. So yes, not all emotions make you happy, but they may save your life as long as you choose the way to react when you have those emotions. Love, a beautiful, beautiful thing. Absolutely. Love makes you happy. It makes you productive. It gives you something to do. My dog knows his place in the world. It's to make me happy because he loves me. It makes him happier. Makes me wonderfully happy. It means I'm going to make sacrifices for my kids and make their lives better, which makes them happy, makes me happy. And that love helps the whole world improve. Now, I'm sure those of you who are parents are not going to tell me that your love for your child has made you happy every single possible moment you're with them. You love your children. They ever made you mad? Well, of course they have. Have they ever done something wrong? Sure. But if you love them and get you past that, you're not just trapped in the moment. So don't reject that pain, because that pain is what pulls you and them through. It brings not instant happiness, but long-term happiness. And I could go on about all of the emotions that you could feel. But the purpose of life is not to be rational, because being rational without a purpose gets you nowhere. Thinking great and powerful thoughts without a smile to go with them is a waste. And in fact, it can close you down. Just being emotion-free makes life meaningless. But having the emotions that pull out your happiness, that pull out your heart, that make yourself, your friends, your children, your family happier and better off, these are things to embrace. Find the right emotions, find the way to do it. My dog is a Malamute. Some of you may not know him. You would think he was a husky, a sled dog, designed to pull a sled with people and supplies across the cold and Arctic waste. Now, you may not know what snow is, but hopefully you've seen pictures. And you know, when I think about him, and I think about emotions, it's the same thing. He loves pulling things. Sometimes me, sometimes too fast, and sometimes I can barely stand up. But he loves it. He's happy. And he carries things when they need to be carried and pulls them when they need to be pulled. That's what our emotions are. They're that powerful pull that takes the things we have and takes us and the things we need to take with us where we need to go to make not just ourselves, but the whole world better off. And the brilliant brains that we have that have been given to us by evolution are simply the reins, the way to control and make sure our emotions take us in the right directions. So don't anyone tell you, don't let anyone ever tell you you're too emotional. Ask them, are they the right emotions? And if they are, and they lead to happiness in the long run, safety, security, a better world for yourself, your loved ones, and even strangers. I like to feel that you all started as strangers. Hopefully, piece by piece, you're all getting to be friends. That these emotions make your lives better. That makes me happy, which is still my favorite emotion. Sneed, I'll return control to you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Michael. I know you are beautiful. I have asked you, please, to come back to us. So you have done the first session. You have done this one. And then, ladies, our last session, the end of November, Michael is coming to come back to do another session. So you will be the only male celebrity that has come to us and inspire us for three times. And Michael, the way that you are talking to me, I know there's also other ladies on, but I'm sure every lady will feel you have just talked to me. I want to say thank you so much. You are amazing. So ladies, do you have any questions for Michael? You're welcome to unmute yourself. Okay, and if you think of any questions that you would like to ask, you can put it in the chat. I will send Michael the chat as well, and then he always can answer afterwards, and I will be able to return back to you. But I think what we can do, we can give him one of our emojis in the reaction button. How did you feel this session was? Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Michael. I really appreciate it. You are welcome to stay. And if you also need to go, because it's 11 o'clock in your time in California, you are also welcome to go, just whatever you want to be. And then I'm going to introduce the next lady, Pamela, if you can come on camera. And if it's not too much data. Pamela, you can actually stay on camera. I am so excited to tell you all about Pamela. Pamela? Oh, wow. I also muted you so you can just see where there you are. So my beautiful Pamela, I met her children first. Her two children are amazing, Faye and Leroy. The reason why I met Leroy was that his report was in our post box. So I called him, they just moved in and I called him. I said, Leroy, your report card from school is in our post box. I don't know if he put it there, that maybe his mother mustn't see this beautiful card that he came from school, but there is where I met him. I also teach the children to speak Afrikaans, and I gave them homework for Afrikaans. They had a beautiful Christmas time. All of the children came for Christmas time, not this December, but the previous one. And I just love Pamela. I love your children. I love you so much. Pamela makes other women beautiful. She is doing their hair. So I asked Pamela, I'm sure she have heard a lot of emotional things that women, as a hairdresser, you hear all these emotional things people want to tell you. So I asked Pamela, will she give us the honor to come and tell us how she inspired the ladies, and if she's got a beautiful message for us. So Pamela, you are beautiful, my neighbor, and I am seeing you in Wednesday next week. Look, the suitcases is there, but not packed yet. I'm seeing you next week. And please tell the children I am sending my love. I'm gonna give it all over to you.
Thank you so much, Auntie Sanet. And thank you, everyone. Thank you also for this wonderful opportunity to come and share with you. I started doing hair a long time ago, while I was in high school. Then after high school, I decided I want to do hair for a living. So with the ladies who inspire each other, it's like one day I'm down, the other, they come, they are also down. We help each other, we motivate each other. Like now, everyone is going like through a rough patch because of COVID. But we always try and motivate each other to keep on, like we are pressing on, we're just pushing, we're just trying. So as for the hair, I wrote this name since you asked me to do something like a poem. It's from Psalms 139, verse 14. It says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. It is talking to us that I know that I am wonderfully and fearfully made. So I praise God. Even when I go to the salon, they just come sometimes for their wash or to plait their hair. So after washing their hair, you can see that the mood has changed. Someone is looking happy, they look fresh. Even with a new hairstyle, like the youngsters, they like to Google these days. So we just keep on checking the latest hairstyles. And also there's this quote from the hair salon, the dressers. It says, beauty comes from the inside the hair salon. When you come to the salon, your hair is dirty sometimes. We wash it, we make it clean. The time you're going out, you're feeling beauty and everything. You are happy. And it also goes to say the best hairdresser never stops learning. So each day, like now there's TikTok, they put videos. We check also on TikTok. We go on YouTube, we check the latest trending hairstyles. Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much.
Wow. Beautiful. I'm going to give you my beautiful Pamela a heart to say thank you. That was amazing. So ladies, I don't know if any of you have a question for Pamela. I just know when Pamela is finished with the ladies' hair, when they are doing it next door, the ladies, Pamela, help me. What is that sound you're making? They are so happy when you have done the hair.
Hello, you were saying?
Now the ladies, remember when you did that wedding and everybody was so happy with their hair? They all went like, la, la, la. I cannot do that.
No, it's the it's the alu thing, but me, I don't know how to do that.
Oh, they saluting. Oh, thank you. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Pamela, keep on inspiring the ladies. You are beautiful. And I cannot wait to see you. Thank you so much.
I
So,
want to thank you for sharing with me an experience that I don't have.
oh, wow. Yes, Dr. Michael Alexander, you don't have that experience.
Jeanette, I also just wanted to say thank you very much. Preach it, sister. That's one of my favorite Bible verses.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Michael, you gave me such a laugh now.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Pamela, for that. I love you and I cannot wait to see you next week. So ladies and Dr. Michael, let me introduce to you our Diamond Inspirational show speaker for today. It's Stephanie. She's all the way from the UK. So when I met Stephanie, we were busy with the 30 Miracle Day challenge, and you didn't see much of Stephanie. You just see she was doing her makeup because it was on her way to work. So she was not shy. This is I must just say, she gave me such an inspiration. She didn't put her camera off while makeuping because she is fully present. She shows us and she listens, and then she will take the lipstick or the mirror away, and she said, and she will answer if people ask her a question, and then she will continue. So for me, when I saw you the first time, I thought, I love this lady. She's not shy to show up, because for me, one of my mottos is show up. Put the camera on so that people can see her, start a relationship with herself. And yeah, you even brave enough before men and women, you were putting your makeup up. But not just that. That picture that you have drawn, that beautiful, how did you see that picture, your life, your dreams? It was amazing. And then I found out you are much more deeper person than that. So for me, it's such an inspiration for you to come and talk to us today. It is, I'm over the moon, and you look beautiful. So I'm going to give it all over to you. Thank you, my beautiful Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you. You are such an inspiration too. I do, of course, miss you on those 30-day Miracle Challenge mornings, but you are living your amazing life, and you have got to see your family back in the US. So that has been another adventure for you, hasn't it? So yes, so it's wonderful to see you. We always used to talk about your hats, didn't we? And that was your signature kind of trademark, along with the beautiful smile and the way that you would mwah and give us those magnificent kisses. So yes, so thank you for having me here. My talk, for want of a better word, I'm not coming at it from the angle of a professional. I am not an emotional freedom technique therapist. Yeah, the way I'm approaching this is through my experience of using this technique probably for around 20 years, I would say, on and off since I was introduced to this. And the fact that it does actually make a difference in my life when I use it. And I know sometimes when we have these emotions, and some of these, as Dr. Alexander was saying, can be very strong emotions. And in the panic or the midst of that emotion, we may not always remember the techniques that we have been given to us. I know that many of the ladies in the Diamond Beauties, you're familiar with mindfulness and meditation and lots of wonderful tricks up our sleeve and armor that we actually have, but we don't necessarily always use them at the right time. And I think it's about habit and practice and taking a step back sometimes and actually seeing that emotion so that we can feel it and think about how we deal with that emotion. Doctor was saying that don't be afraid of being too emotional. And I know when I was a child, quite often people would say, it might be, oh, you know, you're overreacting, you know, or you're a drama queen, or why are you so emotional? Why do you let these things get to you? And we don't often know. That's us, that's the way we are. And I've found myself apologizing for that in the past. And I don't necessarily think that that is the right thing to do. We are who we are. I don't want to change who I am. I just want to be better prepared to enjoy life more, embrace life more, and not dwell on the negative emotions that can drag us down and debilitate us, because often we can be debilitated with anxieties. And if you fight with anxieties and depression and those types of mental illnesses, I suppose, for want of a better word, people don't often understand unless they are there. They've been through it. They don't always feel what we feel. So we shouldn't be apologizing for that. That is us, that is who we are. But what we should be able to do is have something that we can use as a tool if we feel that that emotion, whether that be anxiety, EFT as it's called, has been used for PTSD, and very successfully. A lot of trials have shown that there's been a significant improvement in armed forces members who have really suffered in this way, even measured against traditional sort of medicines and, you know, traditional counselling and therapy that people might have. It's also been very well regarded in the use to treat pain as well. So it's not just emotional behaviours that we might want to lessen if we're finding that they are taking over our life. It can also be used for pain. So again, as the doctor was saying, you know, it's not about trying to forget about a situation. It's not about pretending that that's never happened to us, because it's part of who we are. It's part of what has made us the person that we are today. All of those experiences, all of the emotions that we have felt throughout the years have made us into the person that we are. So we don't want to forget, but we just might want to make things a little bit better, a little bit easier. And I don't know if any of you ladies have ever tried EFT or tapping, as it is more traditionally sort of known. And it's often used alongside traditional counselling and therapy methods as well. The two can go hand in hand. And I'll take my glasses off. It's all very, very easy to do as well. This is the beauty of it, that it can be done anywhere. Now, you may feel a little bit silly. I did at first, you know, I'm like, well, what is this? Why am I doing all of this? You know, what is it about? What is it going to do for me? And yes, I probably wouldn't want to do all this on the bus or the train or the metro and have people thinking, you know, what's wrong with her? You know, she's looking a little bit strange. But there are some things that you can do quite where you may not, you know, other people may not notice actually. But when you have a quiet time, even if you have to go to the toilet, they've said to me before now, you know, at work, if the situation's getting really, really stressful, take a break, go into the toilet if you have to, go into a prayer room, a meditation room, whatever facilities it is that you have. And within 5 minutes, you can transform the way that you're actually feeling and how to handle a certain situation. So what tapping does is it basically works on the meridian points. So it's a type of acupressure. So it's not as invasive as acupuncture when you go to do traditional sort of Chinese medicine. It is literally the meridian points. So there are several, I think possibly 12, and traditional EFT works on around 9 of these meridian points, of which I will take you through. And there are some very, very good instructional videos online. And one of them that sort of gives you a really easy introduction to it is from the Tapping Solution. Now, these are free on YouTube. You can just put in the Tapping Solution and they will be able to talk you through, and you can pause the video, etc. And they also have an app that you can download, of which there are a series of free tapping meditations on there. Of course, you can pay everything. We can always pay extra, can't we, and get extra. But you can have an introduction to it and see if it's going to work for you. Or you can find a therapist and you can do it with them, which is where I first started out with this. What you always have to do is you start with what they call a setup statement. And that setup statement is about acknowledging the emotion and the feeling that you have, whatever that issue is. So you may start out by saying, even though, and we always do this by tapping on what they call the karate chop point. And you will say your setup statement 3 times. So if it's an anxiety related issue, I might, for example, say, even though I have this anxious feeling in my chest, I love and accept myself. Because the second part of the statement is about acceptance. So it might be, I accept myself unconditionally. I love myself unconditionally. I love and accept myself. And you will do the setup statement 3 times. And you will try and think about where that emotion feels within your body. Do you feel something in your head? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your throat? Do you feel it in your stomach? Because that's what the meridian tapping points will do, in that it helps to try and release the energy that is stuck, and the emotions that we are feeling are often stuck with a physical emotion, a physical feeling as well. So you might say 3 times then, even though this anxiety in my chest, I feel this anxiety in my chest, I love and accept myself. And you would say that 3 times. And you can do it out loud, or you can do it in your head. So you don't have to be speaking out loud. Then you move in to tapping around the points. And the first one is on the eyebrow point. And I'll come a little bit closer. It literally is just where the sort of the bone is at the end of your eyebrow here. And if I was focusing on anxiety and I did my setup statement, I might tap 3 times here and say, this anxiety, this anxiety. And you continuing just to it sounds like you're focusing on the bit that you don't want to focus on, but you have to do that in order to release it. So I will move from here, and then I move to the side of the eye. This is where the next meridian point is. And I would still continue to think about that feeling that I have. This anxiety in my chest. This anxiety in my chest. Under the eye is the third point. Just where the sort of little bone bit is there around the bottom. So you've done eyebrow, side of the eye, underneath the eye. And you were continuing to talk about the thing that you are focusing on. Then you're going to come just underneath your nose there. This is the next point. And you can tap slowly. You can tap quickly. It doesn't really matter. It is about activating that meridian point and saying something to do with that emotion at the same time. So this anxiety in my chest, under the chin, next point. It feels overwhelming. Just there, underneath your lip, on your chin. Then you come to your collarbone and you can tap like this, or you can tap like this. You can move across from there and just feel where that collarbone is. And all the time, you're continuing to think about that emotion and even maybe where it feels in your body. So this anxiety in my stomach, this is an easier one for us ladies because it's bra strap. Where your bra strap is, you're tapping just underneath there, like this. And when you've done all of those points, which are really, really easy because you are following, it's a bit like when we used to do dot to dot, if you ever did those when you were a kid, we're joining up the dots. I'm going eyebrow, side of the eye, underneath the eye, underneath the nose, on the chin, collarbone, under the arm. And we finish it off on the top of the head. This round, we finish it off on the top of the head. And what you'll generally do is around about 3 times. And before you start, you will mark the intensity on a score of 0 to 10. 10, of course, being the highest level of feeling of disruption that it's causing us at that particular time. And the idea is that when you have done the round of tapping, you go back and you revisit, and then you score that intensity again to see if that intensity has lowered any. Initially, you may only come down from a 10 to a 7, and that will be telling you that you still need to work on that. You can do it again straight afterwards and continue until you find somewhere that you feel a level of acceptability. Is 5, for example, okay today on that scale? And if it is, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to keep going and going and going, because some of the issues that we are feeling and facing are very deep rooted. You're not going to cure it in 5 minutes, but what it will do is bring the anxiety levels from here down to here, or the pain from here down to here. And that is what we want. We want to be able to see some improvement, of course. And it's all, what you will find is, especially when you do it with, if you do it with a therapist or you follow these, like for example, the tapping solution, once we get the anxiety level down or the pain threshold level down, we can then start to focus on a positive impact statement. We don't do that until we get to the point, the negative bit, the bit that we're trying to work on has come down a level. We need to bring that level down. And then we may change what we are saying into something positive, because we're thinking about loving and accepting ourselves. And it's important to do that. So always we have identify the issue, step 1. Yeah. Test the intensity, step 2. We have the setup statement that we use on the karate chat point and say 3 times, even though this pain in my head is so intense, I love and accept myself. Then we do the sequence. And we retest the intensity. The tapping solution is set up by, well, the whole family are involved in it now. Nick Ortner, you may have heard of Nick Ortner. He was, I think, the first one in the family to do something in terms of promoting it just in the way in which he has. And then there's Jessica Ortner, his sister, who does the tapping for weight loss, of which I've purchased the book and I intend to use it. And I might, I don't know, diarise my progress, if you like, because I want something to focus on, and that I want to be able to share my story if it works for me. I've not tried it for weight loss yet. I mainly have dealt with it for some physical pain and emotional trauma. And I have to say that things that I found emotionally traumatic from my past, for example, finding my mum after she had a stroke on the floor, obviously unable to move, with the chip pan on, the chips were burning. Had I not gone at the time that I went to see her, the chip pan would have set on fire, the flat would have set on fire, and my mum would have burnt to death. And there was some divine inspiration at that time, of which is maybe a story for another day, of when she came into my head just at that moment. And it was the moment, I believe, when she had the stroke. And I found her, but it was very traumatic. She didn't survive, unfortunately. 2 days later, she did pass. So even though we found her quickly, she just didn't make it. And if I was telling you about this, say even maybe 12 months ago, I would not have been able to control those emotions because it was too painful to talk about and to visit. Through using tapping, I am able to talk about the experience without having the overwhelming emotion that I had. Doesn't mean that I'm not sad. Of course, I might get sad if I think about the fact that my mum's not here anymore. It's not about removing some of the natural emotions that we genuinely should feel, and sadness is one of those. We need to know what sadness is. We'd never know what happiness is if we didn't know what sadness was. But it's about having it at a manageable level and being able to cope with past traumas that we've had, so that we can move forward with our life and live our life without living in the past all of the time. And that's all we can do. And that's all I try to do. And, you know, my friend Helen knows sometimes I need her shoulder. You know, tapping alone isn't always going to solve my problem. I need good friends. I need family. I need love. I need all of those things. I need to feel those emotions that give me the most joy. But I need a little trick from time to time that I can use when things become a little difficult. So thank you for letting me share that with you. Like I say, I'm not coming at it from the viewpoint of a professional. I am not trained in this. I've just received it, and thankfully my counselling practitioner introduced me to it, and I feel that for me at least it has you know, more of a benefit than what traditional counselling would do, and that's why I continue to do it. So thank you very much for letting me share with you this evening.
Wow, amazing, amazing, Stephanie. And thank you so much for telling us your story. Because when you told me us about your mum, you know, you make it real, how you practice and, you know, how it helps. So thank you for sharing that beautiful story with us. I don't know if any of you have a question for Stephanie regarding tapping. I would like to know, do you ever do tapping if you're happy?
Not with the actual technique. I might tap my toes. I might tap my toes and tap my fingers, but no, it's mainly used for an emotion that you want to dissipate, I think is the word, or lessen, or get rid of, because what I suppose from Chinese medicine, and it being similar to acupuncture, is that we are storing those negative emotions and our energy channels get blocked. So when we tap on the meridian points, it releases that energy and enables that flow to move again so that we can release some of that. So it is really used for something that is upsetting or painful.
Okay, now thank you for that. So ladies, do you have any questions for Stephanie? Oh, wow. Thank you so much. So Stephanie, thank you so much. So what I will ask you is if you can post on the Diamond Beauties, just you can give us a summary of what you were talking about, because some of the ladies will view this video. Yeah. But give us a summary, and then if you can put the link in where the ladies can go and see, then they can get to the right YouTube channel you were talking about.
Yeah, and I'll just put something in the chat as well. Oh, I need my glasses back on for this now. I could be putting anything in there, couldn't I?
I know. My glasses is also here. So if you can just mention something on the Diamond Beauties, that will be amazing.
Will do, yes.
And then I know that you are only, we did your Forever song just now. So first of all, you can type it in quickly, and then I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and then we will be dancing out with your Forever song.
All right, okay.
Okay, are you ready? Or did you, Jessica?
I've put something in just to sort of give people a little bit of a heads up, but yeah, I will post on the site as well.
Yes, I will be taking, because at the moment your your videos is pinned to the top. So I will take it down a little bit later this afternoon, but then if you post something, I will pin it again to the top. I'm getting so good with this technology stuff. Ladies, I am so proud of me. I cannot tell you, I'm so proud of me. But anyway, that is just something on my side, because my son always told me when I would, a year and a half ago, well, 18 months ago, it always told me prior to that, Ma, you are technical disabled, but now I am not any more technical disabled. So I wanted to ask you, what is your beautiful song, your Forever song? What is it called?
It is called Permission to Dance, and it may not be typically what you would have necessarily associated with me, because it's a Korean boy band called BTS that my daughter introduced me to, and they have a lot of songs about self-love, self-worth, loving yourself, all of those beautiful things that we need to do. So yeah, BTS, Permission to Dance.
Oh, wow, I love it. So I didn't listen to it before, and while I am anchoring your Forever song, I had to make sure to get to the chorus. But I can tell you now, and actually, sorry, you were still on the line. I just told you to close your eyes so that you don't see the anchoring part, because the anchoring part is only for Stephanie. I loved your song. It's the first time I'm hearing it, and I loved it. It was like amazing. I was out of breath because I was dancing, If There's No Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have actually, because I did the thing, the anchoring now. And so Stephanie, you will have some homework. So I would love you in a week's time to come and tell us how, but we will have another quick session, and then maybe you can come and tell the ladies on the Diamond Beauties, how was your process for the Forever Song? Because I know what the Forever Song have done for me the last 3 years, and Sari knows what the Forever Song have done for her from May last year. So I want to say, ladies, you must all have a beautiful, beautiful week. Next week, it's my birthday. There is not going to be anybody that will come and inspire us. I was just thinking having a party, and not stress if people is not be there. I'm just going to have a party, and you're all welcome to join. And if you have a message for me, you're welcome to give me, because for me, my birthday is the beginning of my year. Sari knows me very well. My first day of my next year, where I plan my goals, I plan my bucket list, I made sure my action plans is ready, is on my first day, and that is the 20th of June. I have done my bucket list for the next year as well. For my next year, I am over the moon, because my other bucket list is more than half, and my first bucket list is fully completed. So I am loving to be able to put the things down. But yes, my first year of my new year starts next week. So I'm so excited if you can join me. So now, my beautiful Stephanie, we're going to dance out with your song. And ladies, I would like you to have a beautiful dance with Stephanie. And we're not doing the hand thing. You can just dance if there's no tomorrow. And Helen, thank you so much for being here, for your friends, and you're always welcome to join the Diamond Beauties and come to the sessions if you love this one. Pamela, thank you so much for bringing us your awesomeness, your beautifulness. I cannot wait to see you next week. And then the rest of the ladies, I love you all dearly. Let us have a dance together.
Stop recording.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry.